All right, so today we are going to talk about dungeons in Lineage 2 Revolution. Now, the dungeons unlock at different levels, and there are 8 total dungeons in the game. If you go ahead and click on the menu up here, that will bring up this menu, and then bottom left, you can see dungeons. And of course, I've unlocked all 8 of the dungeons, but they unlock at different levels. So first, we'll just run over the 8. We've got the daily dungeon. It is going to unlock at episode 1-3. The Tower of Insolence unlocks at episode 1-9. Elite Dungeons unlock at player level 16, episode 2-4. Extraction Pit, player level 24, episode 3-10. We'll get to that in just a moment. Temple Guardian, that is going to unlock at player level 20, episode 3-3. Then you've got the Adina Vault, episode 4-7. The Trials of Experience, level 38, episode 5-1. And the Summoning Circle, level 50, the last to unlock at episode 6-6. We are going to check out the daily dungeons, and you can see that they start out easy, the Monster Sanctuary, and they run all the way to very hard. And you will see this recommended combat power that you need in order to have a chance at defeating the monsters inside. Now, I've already been through here once today, but we're going to go ahead and recharge it, which sometimes can be a good idea with your red gems because the rewards from the daily dungeon are significant. You can see here they're based by day of the week, and you're going to get either upgrade scrolls, upgrade stones, or upgrade stone boxes. And these are really key to upgrading your armor, to keeping that combat power increasing. So this can be a wise way to invest those red gems that you're earning every day. Today, 4 armor upgrade stones for completing it on very hard. So we are going to go ahead and use that recharge for 100 red gems and enter the daily dungeon. So the daily dungeon, auto battling straight through here for the most part. It's going to run you through it. It's just a simple wave after wave of monsters like you will see in some other dungeons. You've got 5 minutes to complete it. So again, if your combat power is lacking, you may not be able to beat the time limit to get through. Now, your character won't get lost. Let him run his way through the dungeon here on his own, and he will find these monsters as he goes up and down the steps, around the pathways, and completes the daily dungeon for you. So again, those rewards, weapon scrolls, weapon upgrade stones, or the upgrade stone box. You will get 1 of each on easy, 2 of each on normal, 3 of each on hard, and 4 of each on very hard. Again, based upon your combat power. So we work our way through. You can see we've got plenty of time. We're working our way towards the final boss. So there will be, much like in other dungeons, you will see a final boss that you have to defeat in order to beat the dungeon. This again being Monster Sanctuary 4, the hardest level of the daily dungeon. So we've got just over 3.5 minutes left. We are headed up the stairs towards the final boss. So we'll get the animation here, which is always super cool. There is the final boss. The Blood King is going to be summoned. And now it is up to us to single-handedly, you don't get help here. You don't get any party members, no clan members going to help you out. It's just you and the monsters in here, the Blood King and his Reapers. But you can see now at level 120, we're not going to have much difficulty getting through it. And we're going to get our rewards. Again, usually worth recharging once to get those additional rewards. Sometimes you may want to recharge more than once, but it gets expensive, and the red gems, those red diamonds, you don't want to burn through those too quickly. So again, maxed out experience because I'm level 120. Got some Adena, 4 of the armor upgrade stones there, and we will go back to the menu, and you can see that you'll have the opportunity now to recharge for 200 red gems. Not a big fan of that, so daily dungeon, we are done. All right, the next up is the Tower of Insolence. This one is for experience, runes, and Adena. Now, this is one of my favorite dungeons in the game because it's a matter of almost endless levels. I say almost endless because, well, okay, level 60 is the final level. Before that, though, you are battling increasingly difficult floors that have a higher and higher recommended combat power in order to defeat. You're going to see 5 waves of enemies and a boss, and you will get up to 3 attempts a day to get in there. All right? And then once you've gotten through your 3 attempts, or you've gotten as high as you think you'll get for the day. Then go ahead and click auto clear, and the auto clear will get you those rewards one more time for all of the floors that you've cleared up to that point in the day. And you can see the clearance rewards there, mostly in the Tower of Insolence. This is about runes. We will get to runes in a future episode of exactly how to use them and the best way to spend them. Next up are the Elite Dungeons. Now, this is another party-based dungeon that you're going to want to enter most of the time with other players, but you don't have to. You can get in there on your own, and a lot of these dungeons very crowded, and you will be able to get in, kill monsters, but it's better to do it with a party because you're going to get that experience bonus, and sometimes you can handle much harder mobs if you bring a well-balanced party of tanks, DPS, and a healer. So you can see the Elite Dungeon has many different instances based upon level. The Elven Ruins, level 16 for that first Elite Dungeon, and that is where the Elite Dungeon obviously unlocks level 16. As you work your way up through the Elven Ruins, the Ant Nests, and finally Kruma Tower, the Elite Dungeons are going to get you Adena, experience, proofs of blood, and lots of equipment and monster cores. Also red star stones, which are going to help your clan out for resetting those dungeons for the clan. So get into those Elite Dungeons as often as possible. You get 30 minutes of what is called hot time. Now my hot time is gone right here. It's already been used. But you get 30 minutes of hot time a day. And that hot time is going to give the monsters a 4x item drop rate, and you're going to receive 8 times the normal experience during that 30 minutes. So that is key. You want to utilize that hot time ideally in a group, killing the most difficult monsters that you can defeat, that you can face, so you will maximize the loot and the experience that you get out of the Elite Dungeon every day. You also can, again, spend red gems to extend your hot time up to 90 minutes a day. I would not suggest going past the 30-minute mark, because right here, 30 minutes, it's a lot of gems, and you need to make up your mind where you want to go. But for 100 gems per 15 minutes, you can grab an additional 30 minutes of hot time. Beyond that, the price just gets really expensive. The next 15 minutes is 200 gems, 200 gems, and then 400, which is just, it's ridiculous. You do not want to waste that many gems unless you have an endless stream of them on recharging beyond the first 30 minutes. Next up is the Extraction Pit, and the Extraction Pit is kind of a nice place to relax. There's not as much battling going on, although there can be a lot of player versus player battling down there. Now, the Extraction Pit is a place where you are going to grab these herbs. You're going to wander around the dungeon, but if I can give you a piece of advice, try to wait until the Garden Sentry appears to pick your herbs each day. You're going to be able to grab 20, but this Garden Sentry right here. Now, the key to the Garden Sentry, we're going to go ahead and enter the Extraction Pit. Okay, so while the Garden Sentry is alive, every time you gather an herb, you will get double, okay? You'll get double the herbs. Now, there are some lower level monsters in here that you can get rewards from, but here's the thing about the Garden Sentry. The Garden Sentry appears at this gate up here, and he does look kind of intimidating, but again, you get double herbs while he's alive, but everybody always kills him, okay? Everybody always attacks the Garden Sentry. You will go ahead and join in. You might as well, because if you just stand here and hope that nobody hits him, no, they will. They will kill him. It happens on every server, every time that he ever appears. Now, you will get rewards. You will get some herbs from killing him. So there is that. But like I said, I've never once seen the Garden Sentry live longer than about 20 paces. He comes in at this door, he starts wandering this way, and usually by the time he gets to about right here, he is dead. And then wander off and pick your 20 herbs. And you will use those. We'll talk about this later. There's also an item called Eisenhad's Blessing that you want to drink before you come down here and gather, that will help double or even triple your experience while you're gathering these flowers. So you do get a lot of experience for gathering the herbs here in the Extraction Pit. All right, so we're going to leave the Extraction Pit, and we are going to move on to the next dungeon, which is called Temple Guardian. Now this is much like a later dungeon you will see, the summoning circle. You are protecting the holy artifacts. And this is all about equipment. You will be rewarded with equipment when you complete Temple Guardian. You need to protect this artifact right in the center. And this time I'm going to click accept. There we go. I was holding up the whole group there. You need to click accept when you're in a clan group like that. They summon you, and here we are. So there is the holy artifact in the center. It is going to be besieged by enemies on all sides. You can check it out right here. You can see that there are 4 different ways that beasts and monsters can come and attack this artifact. You need to protect them the best you can. Now you can do this a lot again on auto battle. You can have your auto battle on, and if you have the combat set to distant, you'll have no problem having your character go after these guys as they approach this crystal in the center. You need to protect that. Now there are buffs that appear. You can see at each of the 4 there. The guy Gruy from my clan just picked up a buff over there by running over this little pad. And there's 4 of those pads. Different buffs appear. You can get, attack, defense, speed. Right here is one of the better ones to get, the attack buff. I don't really normally go after these. Now it's already gone, but you can get those. They will help you out a little bit if you're a little bit underpowered maybe, but most of the time you're going to be fine without it. There's that attack buff right there. We can run over it while we're in the area. There we go. So we got an attack increase. And again, you can see the damage on the left-hand side here to the water crystal. The monster defeat score, we're grade B right now. It all has to do with the number of monsters that you beat and the damage done to the water crystal. You want the least damage possible in order to succeed with the best grade and to get the best rewards. Again, Temple Guardian is about getting equipment, okay? This is going to help you upgrade. You're going to be able to use that equipment. Most likely you're going to use it as fodder for upgrading other equipment. We're doing our best. We've got 1 second left, and we're not going to get triple S this time. There's the warning, 80% hit points. It looks like we got a double S, and there it is. So there are the dungeon rewards. Again, it's gear, and we were going to get some varnish as well. And the 6th dungeon in the game that we're going to talk about today is the Adina Vault. Now, the Adina Vault is pretty straightforward. It's a vault where you get Adena. All right, so you've got this monstrous dragon up here, 3 levels. The Adina Vault, again, unlocks at episode 4-7, and it's going to tell you the recommended combat power before you enter. We are able to go ahead and go in on hard, so we will check it out. And this is all about basically this one dragon, okay? This big old dragon right here. And early on in the game, you're just going to be trying to survive as long as possible against him, because a lot of players are just going to get beaten by him. All right, now you can avoid some of his abilities, much like the other boss battles. I think the stun cone is actually a straight red line. We'll see that in a moment. But also, while you're here, right there, it said that there's a treasure chest. So we're going to wander out and see this treasure chest. There's a couple of them. We're going to go ahead and hit these treasure chests. We pick up additional Adena right here while we do this. Of course, now at lower levels, this is much more difficult because you're facing the minions and you're facing the dragon at the same time as trying to get the chests, and you're going to suffer a lot of damage and not get through this. But again, the longer you can last, the more Adena you pick up. See on the left-hand side there, the total Adena is just racking up right now. Huge rewards. And then we're going to see the treasure chest reward. Okay, more treasure chests spawned. Wandering over here, going to pick up these treasure chests and battle the minions at the same time. There we go. We've got that treasure chest down. We'll move out of the way of that. And make sure there's no other treasure chests in the area. Sometimes one spawns. It appears that sometimes 2 will spawn at once. Also, you can see this is time limited. We've got less than 1:30 left. The dragon down to about 25% health. We're at this point, like I said, because we're level 120, we're not worried about dying. You will die a lot earlier on. There is another one of his abilities we can move out of the way from. So there, auto battling, yes, it takes a lot of stuff out of your hands, but at the same time, there is stuff that you want to do. See, like avoid that stun. If I had been out of the red, I would have avoided that stun, and we might have grabbed a little more Adena. Now we're going to take the dragon down and finish the Adina Vault. Also, it is one of those daily tasks you want to get done. We got triple S, the highest possible ranking, and almost 180,000 Adena for that clear of the Adina Vault. So definitely you want to get into the Adina Vault every single day. And again, if we take a look, you can see here that the Adina Vault also is one of those places that you can... And that is the Adina Vault. Next up, dungeon number 7 of 8 is the Trials of Experience. And much like the Adina Vault, pretty straightforward. It's all about experience in here. This is going to unlock at episode 5-1, level 38, where easy is, and you're going to have that recommended combat power of just over 75,000. Then level 60 to go to normal, level 100 to go to hard, and a recommended combat power. Again, you can see the monsters that appear. We're going to go ahead and move in here. Now, we do have 2 completions available a day, much like the other dungeons. I always recommend going in the maximum number of times. All right, here we go. Trials of Experience. You've got a limited amount of time. You can see there on the right-hand side, the clock starting to tick, 3 minutes remaining. On the left-hand side, the monster defeat count and the grade that you are currently receiving. Now, notice up in the top left, you can see the buff that's hovering up there, much like we saw at the Temple Guardian. Usually, these buffs are not worth getting. You're going to spend more time running to them than you will save in the buff that you receive, unless you're close to the attack buff. That would be the one that I would suggest picking up while you're in here. The attack buff is going to help you get through those monsters much more quickly. That up there, again, is the speed buff. We'll go ahead and move down here so you can see it. Here's the attack buff. We're going to pick it up, and now I've got attack increase. That's going to help me out as I work my way through these guys. You can see just over 2 minutes remaining. We're still at grade C. We've gotten through under 50 of these guys so far, but they will keep coming in waves endlessly as long as the clock is running until we reach grade SSS. Now, once we've hit grade SSS, then you are going to go ahead and max things out, and it will let you know that you can leave early if you want to. So we're going to turn soul shots on for this. That is something that this is an instance where soul shots can be helpful. They can definitely get you a lot more experience. As you're leveling up in the earlier parts of this game or the middle parts of this game, experience is what most everybody is focused on. So the Trials of Experience, no better place in the game right now to gain experience, except for maybe the clan fireplace. We'll get to that later. So, all right, less than a minute 30 left. You can see we're up to grade B. We're just under 100 monsters defeated. Again, the endless wave of monsters moving in. There's a buff on the right-hand side. That is like defense buff. We're not going to worry about that one again. I just pick up attack. Sometimes I won't even bother picking up the attack buff. We'll just sit in the middle and continue our way through these waves over and over and over again until time runs out. So monster defeat count, just over 120, under a minute remaining. Trying to get ideally to that SSS grade, which I believe is up around 190 mobs defeated. It's going to be close. We're running out of time though. See, we wasted time running over to get that attack buff when it might have made more sense just to sit in the middle and pick up as many mobs as we can. 140, we're up to grade S. 30 seconds left. It's going to be close. We might hit double S. I don't know if we're going to hit triple S though. Getting through the mobs. There's double S, 150. So at 150 mobs, you will hit the rank of double S. And with less than 20 seconds left, 160. It's going to be close to try to get to triple S here as the final 10 seconds count down. I've got those soul shots on, so that does help. But it looks like we might end up being just a little bit short. And I have to say that's probably from the time that we wasted running around trying to pick up the buffs. So there you go. Didn't get the maximum. We got double S instead of triple S. So a little bit of a fail, but that's okay. We still picked up over 100K experience. And that experience, again, is what players are focused on when they're working their way through the levels. The 8th and final dungeon to unlock in Lineage 2 is called the Summoning Circle. Now, the Summoning Circle doesn't unlock until level 50, and it's episode 6-6, where you first get the ability to get in there, help undo the seal on the holy artifact, and acquire summoning stones. So you're trying to protect an NPC as he is trying to undo the seal on this artifact. So there's 3 different artifacts that he approaches. He undoes the seal, and the rewards here are pet and mount equipment, which is obviously later in the game. The summoning circle, much like the others, is going to have the reward and the ability to enter more than once. So the summoning circle you can enter, you must have a party. You can enter 2 times, as you can see here right now. I am grouped up with my clan members, so we're going to go ahead and go into the summoning circle. Now, we have a pretty overpowering group right here, so it's not going to be a problem. There is our NPC Feldheim, and the idea here is that we need to protect him as these mobs appear. He's going to approach each of these stones, these artifacts, try to undo the seal on 3 of them, and we've got 5 minutes to protect Feldheim and make sure he gets the job done. As you can see, waves and waves of monsters come through. On the right-hand side, you see this time limit, and below that, you can see as he tries to undo the seal, he was interrupted right there, and you need to try to avoid him being interrupted as he undoes the seal, as he activates this crystal right here. So he got interrupted one more time. There's Feldheim. Gonna do our best to stay close to him and get rid of the big guys that are immediately around him. And finally, on his 3rd attempt, it looks like he's going to get that seal undone, and he moves on. So Feldheim starts wandering off. We need to follow him. You will kind of auto-follow him if you have auto-battle on as well. You're going to be auto-battling the mobs that appear. We want to keep Feldheim alive above all else, and then, of course, help him try to avoid being interrupted. So we'll move ahead of Feldheim a little bit here and try to take some of these other mobs out as he starts working, as you can see, on the 2nd artifact, the 2nd crystal right here, activating it. We're doing our best to make sure he doesn't get interrupted. Again, you can do this on auto battle, but it does help a little bit just to keep an eye on where the mobs are coming from. The big guys like the stone golems, the big ones are more important to get out of the way usually. Feldheim is definitely going to get interrupted and get damaged if that doesn't happen. Now, like the other dungeons, like the other accomplishments, Triple S is the best grade you can get. You can see Feldheim has activated 2 of the 3 crystals so far, so we're on our way to protect him for the 3rd. But be careful, even after he activates this 3rd crystal, you need to make sure that you protect him and keep the mobs out of the area, because you can lose that Triple S grade, which is going to get you your best rewards of all of the accomplishment grades that you can get in here. So Feldheim working on that 3rd crystal. You can see he's just about got it activated. Lots of mobs moving in, and he gets it done. All right, so he's got it done. We've got our Triple S grade. Getting the rest of the monsters out of the way here. And Feldheim is going to wander off towards the exit in a moment. You can see he's almost at full health, so we did a pretty good job this time. We have successfully protected Feldheim. He's going to wander off down here, and with plenty of time to spare, we're going to get this job done. All right, Triple S looks good. Feldheim is at the exit. He's going to give us one last thank you, and then we will get our reward. So there he is, and we have completed Summoning Circle. Again, you can do this twice a day, and there it is, Triple S. And again, the pet summoning rewards right there. Gonna want to work on those once you reach level 50. Definitely try to get in there to the Summoning Circle twice a day. So that is it, you guys. Those are the 8 dungeons that are currently available in Lineage 2 Revolution. Please let me know down below if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or suggestions for future content. Thank you guys, as always, for watching. Have a fantastic day. Subscribe for more Lineage 2 Revolution gameplay videos, advice, tips, and boss kills coming soon. Thank you again. Full attack.